What's up, y'all? You're watching Union Minded. I'm your host, Eric, and today we're going to be talking about the Minneapolis educators who went on strike. Solidarity to the teachers. They're going on strike, fighting for a better education system for the students in Minneapolis. Pretty damn awesome. Much like the red wave of 2018 when the West Virginia teachers went on strike and showed the power of solidarity amongst educators. They were able to make gains in their wages back in 2018. The Minneapolis public school system is about to learn today what it's like when teachers are fed up and they stand together and they show what solidarity can do. The bargaining team for the educators has been hard at work trying to come up with trying to come to an agreement, but the Minneapolis public school system will not meet them halfway. MPS is ignoring the needs of the students in their communities. So you got teachers that have, the bargaining team for the teachers has been at it for 11 months, trying to get things passed for the teachers and for the students so that we can have a better educational system in Minneapolis. And the school system is saying, no, the status quo is just fine. And that's kind of what's been the stalemate. The strike is supported by 97% of the educators and staff. The teachers are fighting for a better education for their students, and that's the important thing to remember. This isn't about greed and all that other stuff that it'll be painted as, greedy teachers or whatever they're going to say. This is about teachers fighting for a better public education system for the kids that attend those schools. So what are the demands? Well, a living wage for the education support professionals to stabilize the critical workforce. Now that's your paraprofessionals. Those are the teachers' assistants that since they're paid so little, they're always, when something better comes along, they bounce. And then you got kids that have to get used to new people because it's a high turnover job. So they're trying to get them a living wage so that they can stick around. This makes sense to me. Systemic changes to improve the recruitment and retention of educators of color. They want to get educators that look like the students, and they want to keep them. Makes sense to me. More mental health support by improving student to RSP ratios. Again, how can you be against better mental health support? Lowering class sizes. It's amazing to me that private schools have smaller class sizes, but when we talk about lowering class sizes for public schools, it's a bad thing. I don't understand that part. Competitive compensation for licensed staff to stop the exodus of teachers from MPS. Competitive pay for staff for licensed teachers. Now, in Stafford, we have a similar issue. We got teachers that are underpaid that are seeking for a better wage, and you got a county that says, no, you guys don't need to make a better wage. You're doing just fine the way you are. And we lose a lot of teachers to other counties in Virginia that pay better. And I'm sure it happens in other counties as well, but that's Stafford, and that's where I live. That's what we experience with the educators here. And we're also always in the fight. So when we see, at least for me, when I see Minneapolis educators standing together and showing what solidarity can do, my antenna goes up, because the teachers in Virginia also are horribly underpaid and deserve way better. And so do our kids. Our students deserve way better. But that's besides the point. We're talking about Minneapolis right now because they putting up the fight and they showing what's up right now. So why did they authorize the strike? MPS is doubling down on the status quo, and we all know the status quo has got to go. With over $250 million in pandemic relief funds, the time to change and invest in the future is right now. They got the money sitting there. This isn't going to hurt the taxpayer. This is going to help the taxpayer by providing better education for their kids. Students shouldn't have to wait weeks for an appointment with a counselor or social worker. Can you imagine that? You got to wait weeks. When I went to school, they had a counselor in the building. If you had to go see the counselor, there was a counselor in the building, and there was three for, there was in high school, there was one for each grade. I mean, that was in the 90s. What happened? Students should know paras will be there. This is the paraprofessionals. These are the teachers' assistants. They're experiencing high turnover because they're horribly underpaid. They want to bring them up to a living wage so that they stick around at the job and continue to help these kids. Students should have teachers who look like them and come from their communities. Again, we're talking about recruiting teachers that are from the same communities. This is common sense stuff. You know what I mean? When you're in a classroom, you want to see someone that looks like you teaching. Students shouldn't be in overcrowded classrooms. Again, when you pile kids on top of kids on top of kids, and you got one teacher up there teaching 36 kids, it's not a very productive environment to learn in. So shrinking class sizes, again, is a common sense thing for me. The top priorities for the teachers that are on strike in Minneapolis are a living wage for ESPs is the education support staff, systemic change to improve the recruitment and retention of educators of color, more mental health supports, smaller class sizes, professional time for educational staff and teachers to be able to do their planning, competitive pay that retains licensed educators. All these things are vitally important, and they're fighting for it right now. I'm going to be following this story because I think it's important, and I think it's a bellwether for other movements, because you got Starbucks workers organizing all over the place. Now you got Minneapolis teachers on strikes. You've had John Deere was on strike. You had a lot of movement last year, and it's continuing. It hasn't slowed down. We're at the worst income inequality that we've ever seen, and it's not getting better. And you got corporations raising prices right now during a time that they claim is inflation, while raking in record profits. It's almost like they see a change coming and they're trying to steal as much wealth as they can before the people wake up to it and get fed up to it and change the system around. It's almost like they see it coming and they're trying to just get as much as they can from the bank. But in this story here, we're watching some workers, the most important workers, come together and fight for a better tomorrow. I'm interested to see where it goes. If you're interested in donating, I'm going to have in the description box the link to donate to this strike fund for these teachers to help them out so that they can keep up the fight as it goes. Thanks for watching. My name's Eric, and hope you found this information helpful. If you like the video, like it. If you like the channel, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and share if it was cool enough. All right? Thanks for chilling with me. And remember, the fight isn't left and right, it's up and down. And solidarity will win always. Peace.